Hi everybody, welcome to another video of romanjustcodes. I'm Roman, and in this video I'll be showing you how to leverage Firebase Hosting in order to host your static websites in a secure manner and for free. With Firebase Hosting, you can host your content for free on the Google Cloud. No matter where a user is, content is delivered fast. Files deployed to Firebase Hosting are cached on SSDs at CDN edge servers around the world. Firebase Hosting automatically provisions and configures an SSL certificate for each site deployed and will allow you to connect a custom domain with painless verification. Let's get started. In this video series, I'm developing an Angular PWA for a fictional package delivery company called UPS, so I definitely need to host it somewhere. Some of the functionality that I've already implemented, such as the Google Maps and the Firebase Cloud messaging, won't work well unless I deploy the PWA on a web server with HTTPS. Well, here's Firebase Hosting to the rescue. I've been running the application on my local machine throughout the development of this app, so it's time to make it public. I'll show you how to deploy it to Firebase with just a few commands and make it public, as well as even set up a staging environment in case you don't want to make it public right away, but send it as a demo to your client or for testing your site in the wild. Let's proceed. In your Firebase console, select the project you've been working with. In my case, it's called UPS Tracking. On the left-hand side nav, select Hosting. Then select Get Started. The Firebase console then brings up a small wizard taking you through the steps on how to set up the prerequisites. To host your site with Firebase Hosting, you need the Firebase CLI, which is a command line tool. So you first must install it by running the command npm install -g firebase-tools. Click Next to show you the next step, which is that once you have the Firebase CLI installed, you must log in using the Firebase login command. Then issue the command Firebase init in order to connect your project to the Firebase project where you'll be deploying your site into. Click Next to show you the last step, which is, when you're ready, deploy your web app by issuing the command Firebase deploy. Continue to console so you can see what your deployed app's custom domain will look like. This is assigned to you by Firebase based on the name of your project, but you can set up your own domain and map it to your hosted app in Firebase if you wish. But we're gonna go with the defaults, and we're good with the custom domain we get from Firebase. Let's get back to the project since we have some deploying to do. Let's proceed by installing the Firebase CLI tools globally by issuing the command npm install -g firebase-tools. This will install all required dependencies for us to perform the deployment to our Firebase account, as well as generate some configuration files for us. Let's log in by issuing the command Firebase login. I already had been logged in on another project I was setting up, so this is not the account I want to deploy my web app to, so I'll issue the Firebase logout command. Just type Firebase logout. Now, doing the Firebase login again, I get prompted from Firebase about whether I wanted to collect CLI usage, so I say yes, but it's not mandatory. Right away, it launches a browser window where I will select the account I want to authenticate with, in this case, the Google account managing the Firebase project where I want to deploy my web app. Hit allow to give the Firebase CLI access to your corresponding Firebase account. Once successful, you can close this window. Now I'll do the login again, just to double check. Good, I'm in the right account. Now let's proceed and do the Firebase init command. Just type Firebase init. It will prompt you for what feature of the Firebase CLI you want to set up for this folder. In our case, it will be the Firebase Hosting. So navigate with the arrow keys all the way down to the hosting option. Press the spacebar to select it. Select the option to use an existing project, in our case, the UPS tracking project. This is just in case you may be managing many projects under the same Firebase account and you need to select one. Luckily for us, we only have one. For the hosting setup, now you need to configure a public directory where you will place your static or generated files from your project, which Firebase will grab and deploy to the cloud on your behalf. This is an Angular project, so configuration must be tweaked a little bit. For now, pick the default public directory and we'll change it in a minute. Select yes to configure it as a single page app. We won't be setting up automatic builds and deploys with GitHub. For now, we won't do it, but this is already giving me an awesome idea for a future video tutorial, so stay tuned for that one. I'll get rid of this generated public folder since I won't be needing it. I'll leverage the existing Angular pipeline to build production-ready files. Out of the generated files from the Firebase setup process, this is the only one that we need to change. In this JSON config file, this public value must point to the directory where the generated files from Angular are located after doing a production build. In order to generate production-ready files from Angular, run the command ng build --prod. This will bundle and minify all your JavaScript, CSS, and assets in a single folder, ready to be dropped on any web server. By default, Angular places the files inside a folder called dist/the name of your project. There you will find the assets and all minified, optimized files ready to be published. This configuration is located in your project's angular.json under the build options sections in the output path property, which should match your project name in your project's package.json file as well. So you will grab the path to the generated files and add it to the public property of the firebase.json. Save, and you're all set as far as configuration. Now for the moment of truth, Firebase deploy. This command will grab your files in the dist folder, upload them to Firebase, and make your web app public for the whole world to see. It usually takes a few seconds, depending on the size of your site. Deploy complete. The console even spits out the URL where your current site is being hosted on. It is usually the name of your project, then appending .web.app. You recognize this pattern? Grab the generated URL and paste it on a separate browser window. And voila, your website is up and running, and your content served over an SSL connection from the closest edge server on Google's global CDN, blazingly fast and working as expected. A few things to cover back in your Firebase console. Now in your landing page, you will see a notification that something has been deployed to Firebase Hosting. Who deployed it and when? And of course, there's no data to be tracked on this site yet, as I just deployed it. If you click again on hosting, you will see some information regarding your hosting, such as the status, number of files, etc. But something I wanted to bring up was this additional feature called Preview Channels, still in beta, but works like a charm. It serves as a staging server or repository where you can deploy your site for testing and sharing it before going live. In the same project we set up earlier, all we would have to do is run this command: Firebase hosting :channel :deploy, give it a temporary name, and voila, it will do the same thing as a full deploy, but instead of deploying it to production, it will make it available somewhere else for a few days. Then it gets brought down automatically afterwards. Wait for the deployment, and once the deployment is complete, you notice the hosting channel where this site is being temporarily hosted. It is publicly available, just not on a permanent location. Grab the URL and paste it on a browser window. Back in the Firebase console, now this preview channel shows us an additional panel from where you can see the URL, see when it will expire before it gets taken down, launch the site on a separate window, or copy the URL for sharing. You can also delete it at will before its expiration date if you wish. And that's it, guys. I hope you all take advantage of this amazing resource and host your websites in a secure platform for free, such as Firebase and the Google Cloud. See you on the next one. That's it for this video, so please stay tuned for more upcoming videos. Hit the subscribe button to stay updated, and please like this video if you found it useful. Thank you so much for watching.